thousands of women will be denied local access to safe and professional abortion care for the first time since Roe v. Wade.
I can't imagine that anybody would want to go in that death chamber to get any kind of health care.
And Beaumont's only abortion clinic is closing. You'll hear people on both sides of the abortion debate react to the shutdown. Good evening, I'm Greg Kerr.
And I'm Kelly Phillips. Thank you for joining us. The clinic tonight has closed its doors. The company that owns the center and ran it for the past 10 years calls the decision heartbreaking. Opponents of abortion are celebrating. They say the clinic offered, quote, death care, not health care. KFDM's Leslie Rangel is following the sudden closure. She joins us from inside the clinic with more. Leslie?
That's right, Kelly. We're inside the Whole Women's Health Clinic here in Beaumont. Right behind me, they're live streaming a vigil with the Rio Grande Valley, one of the other clinics that is expected to close this week. Now, earlier today, we spoke with the president and CEO of Whole Women's Health, who tells us they're attributing their closure to harsher rules passed by the legislature in the 2013 session. They performed their last abortion procedure 2 weeks ago. This past Tuesday, they had their last patient. Now, both the CEO of Whole Women's Health and the director of a pro-life group talk about what this means for Southeast Texas.
Members of this pro-life group had planned to spend the 40 days leading up to Easter outside the Whole Women's Health Clinic in Beaumont. They want women to change their minds about abortion. The group is cutting short its plans because the clinic is closing its doors.
We have been denied an application to privilege any of our other physicians, and we also know that there's no way in the Beaumont area we can afford to build an ambulatory surgical center, which is the requirement that's going to come into effect here on September 1st. And so we had to make the heartbreaking decision to close these two offices.
The Beaumont Center and one the company owns in the Rio Grande Valley are shutting down. The director of the 40 Days for Life campaign says it's a blessing.
God is so good, and we thank all the people at Beaumont who have cheered us on, who have prayed with us.
Her group has stood outside this clinic several times in the past few years, praying for women not to choose abortion.
This is not really for health care. This was really for death care. This is a place where babies are not safe.
Some who worked in the clinic disagree.
I am devastated and so very worried about the women and families of Beaumont and the Golden Triangle and the women of Southwest region of Louisiana. These women, as do all women, deserve the right to safe, compassionate, and unbiased reproductive health care.
Absolutely not. That is not true. This place is scary, and it's not health care to kill babies.
The Texas House passed rules that require clinic doctors to get admitting privileges at hospitals in their area. Doctors weren't able to get such privileges here.
HB 2 will now force these women to travel 200 miles round trip for 2 separate visits to access safe abortion care. On the surface, this doesn't seem that hard, but this is a trip that most of the people in this area have never made.
I believe that they're just hollering wolf for no reason, because 83 miles from here you can still get an abortion in Houston, and that's not very far from wherever you are.
Yes, and we just had to move into a different room at the clinic because they are still live streaming with the Rio Grande Valley, the McAllen Clinic. Now, the president and CEO of the clinic tells me she's not going to stop fighting for Texas women or women in general. And the pro-life group says they will continue their campaign, protesting and standing outside the clinics in Houston. Reporting live in Beaumont, Leslie Rangel, KFDM 6 News.